and welcome into Getting Help from Uncle Sam. We always get help from our government. Just about a year ago, when the legislature was coming back into session, a couple of things on the agenda were going to be maybe looking at a lottery. But what happened is Governor Ivey said, if we're going to be looking at a lottery, we're to be looking at gambling in general. And she put together a commission. The commission was headed by our good friend and ex-mayor, Mayor Todd Strange. Well, Todd, you were asked to lead up this commission. It was what, 18 members on the commission?
I have to count it up. I think it's more like 12.
Okay.
But it was a great group. And first of all, Happy New Year to you.
And Happy New Year to you.
Thank you for allowing us to share this, because obviously it's an important subject. It's been around forever. It's been addressed by the legislature. It's been addressed by the courts.
4 or 5 different governors.
Absolutely. And so as the governor thought about this, she and Joe Bonner, the chief of staff, and some others decided that, once and for all, we ought to quit worrying about what the past has been, but look at just the facts. The old dragnet, give me the facts, ma'am, just the facts. Yep. And so that's what this commission study group on gambling really was formed to do. Executive Order 714, I think, was done in February of this past year. She named 12 individuals, and I got to tell you, I've worked on a lot of commissions, a lot of study groups, but this was an elite group. I mean, people from former Supreme Court judges to ministers, to sheriffs, attorneys, accountants,
presidents of universities.
I was going to say, young Boozer was on it. Deborah Bernhardt, who had just retired as head of the Space and Rocket Center in Huntsville. It was and that, frankly, was one of the reasons that I think we've done the work that we've done and we're able to get to where we are. Early on, we anticipated we'd have several public meetings where people would come and talk, even your group and things like that. We did have one of those, which was just really introductory. But then, obviously, the March 13th came, and that was the only public meeting we had. We had 5 or 6. You were on a public meeting that was virtual, Zoom. We've had as many as 100 to 110 people on those. Once we did all that and heard from all of the stakeholders, the interested parties, those that wanted to make sure that we heard the addiction side and the social services side of this, social concerns, to those that are already in Alabama. We've heard from the Indian Affairs Group, IGRA. There we've heard from Georgia. We've heard from certainly the tribal Indian. We have the band of Porch Creek here. We've heard from the McGregor clan, the Greene County. So we've heard from a lot of people. And at the end of the day, we probably had 10 or 12 Zoom meetings to really hash out what it was that we were going to do. A lot of people said, tell us what to do. Well, that's not what the governor really asked us to do. She said, tell us what
you did a deep dive.
We did a deep dive.
Just to look at, because people think about gambling, they think maybe a lottery or a casino, but there's much more to it.
Absolutely.
And you guys looked at a lot of different things.
We did. We looked at a lot of the states. There are 41 states that have lottery. There are 46 states that have other forms of gambling. Sports betting is new to the equation, so we wanted to look at that. But at the end of the day, there were about 8 states, including those that surround us, that we primarily focused on. And we actually talked to the industry, people that are running the big casinos, the big groups. You know who they are, because frankly, the likelihood of them coming to Alabama is pretty remote along the way. But at the end of the day, we did not come with what we called recommendations. What we came with was answering the governor's question. She asked us 10 or 12 questions. But what we did is we've got a lot of observations, we've got a lot of conclusions, and then we have best practices. Best practices because, we're coming late to this party.
Yes.
We have the luxury and the advantage of seeing everybody else's mistakes. And hopefully that'll preclude us from making those. But at the end of the day, before we talk about what the observations and conclusions and best practices are, It's up to the people of the state of Alabama. First, the governor has received the report. She has studied it. I have not spoken to her since we gave it to her. Maybe I'll see her next week. But she's got to work with the legislature, because even last session there were 5 bills that were put in the legislature to try to move this gaming, and everybody has their own interest. Right. Everybody has their own thing they want to make sure that gets included. But we have to look at it from a holistic and a comprehensive approach, as you have indicated. And so from that standpoint, the legislature has got to put forth an amendment to the Constitution of the United States, to the state of Alabama. And that has to be voted on by the people.
We're going to need you to come back next week, and we're going to delve into the different things that came out of it.
I mean, we've done this already. Geez, it goes fast.
We've done this part already. That went by fast.
Yeah.
And we'll be right back right after this.